November 15th is a very important day when it comes to the stimulus package. Also, what truckers are saying right now about the vaccine mandate and the supply chain. And lastly, $50 billion in your bank account. How does that sound? I don't know about you, but it sounds pretty good to me. I have a pretty cool story for you at the end of this video. So with that being said, let's get right into it and talk about what's going on. But really quickly, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and I am here for you every single day with all of the latest updates and helping you out in any way that I can, as information is changing very rapidly. So please feel free to leave your comments or questions down below as you watch your way through this video, and of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video as well. Alright, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Let's get right into this. Alright, so November 15th is actually a key date and a very important week that we need to watch when it comes to this reconciliation bill, otherwise known as the stimulus package. Now here's the thing. Everything is still up in the air right now when it comes to the reconciliation bill. It is a very fluid situation. Things are changing rapidly. People are making statements. They're making amendments to it. They're still debating. They're still negotiating. And there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to the reconciliation bill. Now, on one hand, we've had people come out and say it could be passed this week, the reconciliation bill. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we have other people coming out saying, oh no, it's going to be coming the week of November 15th. So that is not too many days from right now, so we've got to watch this very, very closely, as some of these people in Congress are saying it's coming down the week of the 15th, and it's going to be a done deal that week. So when it comes to the stimulus package, there's a lot still on the line right now. I know that we've gone through the details of what is in this stimulus package previously, but here's the thing. Between now and then, when it's actually passed, a lot could change. In fact, just the few hours before they take the final votes, when they open up for debate on these things on the floor, that can be a little bit of a weird situation, because that's when people can come out and say, here's the deal. In order to get my support, you've got to do this, this, and this to it. In fact, there's a couple representatives in the House right now who are basically saying, we're not voting for this unless we get immigration added into the bill. Well, as of recently, they have added some immigration policies into the bill, but that's just one example of some people coming out saying, we're not voting for it unless we get immigration. We also have a handful of other people coming out saying, we need the expanded SALT deductions within the bill. By the way, SALT stands for state and local taxes. So there's been other people coming out saying, no SALT, no deal. So my point is, you have all these little groups of people within the House of Representatives, little groups of people within the Senate who are basically saying, we need this in the package or no vote. Sorry. So that's the thing. Between now and then, a lot could possibly change on this package. So as we went through the parameters of the package just the other day, when we went through those details, it was like, oh, okay, there's a few things in here for low income and fixed income beneficiaries, but for the most part, it's not all that enticing, right? I mean, there's a few things, but for the most part, it's not like we're jumping off of our seat being like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited right now, I'm just jumping for joy. No, I think a lot of us right now are not jumping for joy when it comes to the stimulus package, because I think a lot of us are looking at this, maybe scratching our head a little bit thinking, okay, yep, looks like there's a little bit of scraps in there for us, but not much. There's certainly not that stimulus check or the survival check that we've been calling on for so long now. Just remember, a lot can change, right? By the way, those $800 vouchers that we've been talking about for a while now, those are still up in the air right now as well. We have not gotten confirmation that yes, for sure they're in there, and we have not gotten confirmation that no, for sure they're not in there. So my point is, there's a lot in the air right now. It's like tossed salad, right? It's like salad in a bowl, and you toss it up. I don't know. Is that how you do it? I don't know. I've never done it. I'm just guessing. It sounds cool, right? You have a big bowl and you toss the salad in the air. Well, that's kind of how it is. Some stays in the bowl that's going to be there, and then some flies up in the air, and some falls on the floor, right? That's why you have a dog. The dog likes to get it, right? I think. I don't know. So anyway, the dogs like the croutons, I'm guessing, right? It's the best part. The crunchy croutons, yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with the week of November 15th when it comes to the stimulus package. It's going to be busy. Regardless of what happens between now and then, it's going to be busy. I guarantee it. There's going to be a lot of things going on. It has been every single time. So even though that they give us an arbitrary date, I would say you got to keep watching it very closely. But don't worry, I'll do that for you. That's what I'm here for, to watch all this stuff closely and to bring back all of the details for you each and every day. All right, let's talk about truckers and what they've been saying about the vaccine mandate and the supply chain issues. So basically, truckers right now are like very important people, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Truckers are very, very important people right now. With the supply chain issues that we're having and all of these container ships that are off of the coast of California right now, still, they continue to pile up. They're not making very much headway and progress in the ports there in Long Beach and Los Angeles. But they are unloading some of those container ships. The deal is they're stacking all these ships, they're stacking all the containers around the rail yards and things like this. They're putting them on trains, things like that. But the deal is, to get them from the rail yard or even the shipyards out into where they actually need to go, these big containers, they rely on thousands and thousands of truck drivers. Well, a lot of these people are saying, hey, this vaccine mandate that's coming down is really going to kind of hamper this whole trucking industry, because some of these guys and some of these ladies, the truckers, of course, women are also included, maybe don't want to go through with the vaccine. And they're thinking, hey, we don't want to do this and we don't want to be forced to do it. So they're saying this is going to be a huge detriment when it comes to the trucking industry as a whole and the supply chain, because here's the thing, they're already short thousands of truckers right now. I mean, you can look anywhere online and there are people out there just looking and looking for people to drive trucks right now. In fact, I don't know, a few days ago, I brought you some information that said right now they're considering lowering the age limit to drive, trucks like an 18-wheeler down to 18. Now, again, I'm not an expert on the whole trucking industry, so I'm not really sure how that works, but it sounds like the regulations would say 21 and over, but they're so in need of truckers right now. They're thinking about lowering the eligibility age to do that down to 18, which would open up potentially a lot of job openings for people who are maybe 18 and say, hey, I want to get into the trucking industry. So amazing opportunities right now. Seriously, there's a lot of stuff out there. If you look online or anything like that, there are so many job openings and even some pretty nice signing bonuses, because they're just wanting to get some people to drive these containers and drive trucks in general right now. So interesting. But basically the trucking industry and people who are truckers right now are basically saying, if this vaccine mandate comes down like this, it could be a huge, huge detriment to the industry as a whole and the supply chain. It's certainly not going to help at all, because they're the people. These are the people, the men and women who drive these big pieces of machine down the road, these big, huge semis. They're the people who get the goods and products to our store shelves. They are the ones who take the product from the final stages, the warehouses, the distribution centers, from the shipyards, things like that. They are the ones who bring it to the final destination, which is the store where we can buy it, right? So very, very important industry. All right, so lastly, a quick, really cool story. So I don't bring you stories like this all that often, but I thought this was super cool. So a Louisiana family woke up one morning with $50 billion deposited into their bank account. Could you imagine that? $50 billion deposited into their bank account. So they woke up and they were like, whoa, did this really just happen? And they, according to the interview and the information that I was reading about this family, the person that was being interviewed said, I've never seen that many zeros. And obviously they were part of the 3 comma club, right? So $1 billion encompasses 3 commas. So basically they went on to say, immediately they called their bank and said, hey, we think there's been a really big mistake here. $50 billion is in our account, and we don't know anybody with that kind of money, and we didn't win the lottery either. So unfortunately, the bank did come back and take it back because it was just a mistake on the bank's part. But apparently that $50 billion sat in their account for 4 days. So I don't know about you, but if I had $50 billion just hit my account one day, I'd probably spend all day just looking at it, taking screenshots, taking pictures, printing them out, sending it to all my family and being like, hey, check me out. I've been doing really well. I didn't tell you guys, just kidding. You know what I mean? But I'm kidding. That is not my situation. But would that not be the coolest thing ever? To be a billionaire for like 4 days? So yeah, that's what the guy said. Anyways, he said, I was a billionaire for 4 days, but then they took it back. Of course, it was just a really big mistake on the part of the bank. So anyway, thought that was a really cool story. I mean, that'd be so cool to wake up to, but it'd also be kind of sad to see it disappear at the same time, right? All of a sudden, Wayne Day, you're feeling like you're on top of the world. And then the next day it's reality hits and it's like, oh, I guess I'm right back to where I was. Oh, man. But anyway, that'd be pretty cool. Also, one quick side note. Did you know that if a bank mistakenly deposits money into your account and somebody keeps it, did you know that that's a criminal offense? Kind of weird, right? If a bank makes a mistake and gives you too much money, it's a criminal offense. I just feel like, what? It's your mistake. You guys messed up. But I guess the honest and ethical thing to do is always to tell the bank, right? I mean, honestly, if they make a mistake, they're going to catch it eventually, and it's just not worth it. But either way, I'm just saying, it's just kind of interesting that Yeah, so that's what I found out. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this update. Again, we will continue to watch everything very, very closely here. Just like always, it's going to be very busy going forward. Don't worry, I'll do all the research for you. I boil it all down into these short videos, and I'll bring back those updates for you and let you know what's going on. But I hope you enjoyed this as far as the stimulus and the trucking industry, stuff like that. And then, of course, a fun little story at the end. So enjoy your day. I really appreciate you watching this. Subscribe down below. It's totally free, and I'll continue to be here for you every single day as your one and only daily advocate. So feel free to go back and check out any of the other nearly 2,000 videos right here on the channel. Enjoy. I'll catch you.